Hello everybody, welcome to this video. I'm Knight Sebastian Power-Sieger. I'm one of the living humans who's able to communicate with creatures which have lived as human beings before. And not a long time ago, I did communicate with a creature who have identified himself as the son of Tina Turner. So he have lived as a man before, this creature, and he have lived as the son of Tina Turner, the woman. And he have lost his own human body because of a suicide, as far as I got it. And I also had on the same day, so just moments later, contact with another creature which have lived as a woman before from the same family, so from the family of Tina Turner. So for those of you which do not know me, as I said, I'm Knight Sebastian Power-Sieger, and I do produce documentations when I practice universal communication with creatures which have lived as human beings before, which have lost their human body, or ghosts, how a lot of people will call that. Behind me here, you can see a wind tool. What I mean with that is this thing over here, and you see a plant in the background as well, hopefully. I'm sitting a bit in front of the plant. So the wind tool and the plant, for your better understanding, both can get used from creatures which have lived as human beings before, which have lost their own human body for communication. Which means they can use this wind tool to communicate with you, the people which are watching the video, and with me. And they can do it because they are able to connect themselves with the environment, so with the symbiosis, how you can call it, and they're able to control the weather. So they can trigger, for example, the wind level if they want to present themselves, or if they want to agree to stuff I speak out. So if they trigger the wind level to a higher wind level, that you see more movement where the wind tool is, then they present themselves, and with that they also can say yes. So that's important for your understanding. Watch the wind tool now. Now it's hanging, and I request now from these creatures to produce a little bit more wind, so that the wind tool will start to fly. And you just please watch out for that, so that you are able to understand the communication system. So to the creatures which have lived as human beings before, and which are in the area where I am, to the son of Tina Turner, you are here. And you can see that the wind tool did start to fly strong and is repeating that. So you see that the wind is triggered and pushed towards the wind tool. And then the wind tool, of course, starts to move because of the wind. And in that way, these creatures which have lost their own human body, they are able to present themselves, and they are able to interact with you, the people which are watching the video. So you're going to be able to understand these creatures and what they're speaking out if you watch the wind tool and if you understand the principle. So the principle is, if the creatures wants to agree to stuff I speak out, or if I ask them questions, they want to say yes, then they can use a higher wind level as a result of my question to say yes. So a higher wind level means yes. And there's more regarding the wind tool you can watch out for. The wind tool has two sides. On one side, you see this golden star is placed, and the golden star side means yes. So on the other side, you see it's empty, and you could see the wind tool was turned for you. Okay, turned, I mean with that a creature which have lived as a human being before, which have lost his own human body, have used the potential to control the weather. So he did practice weather control, and he turned with that the wind tool. And during I speak stuff out, for your better understanding, these creatures can also trigger the wind if they want to agree to a specific sentence or part of a sentence I do speak out. So these are the basics for your better understanding, that you're going to be able to understand that video here. So in the video you see me, Niall, the man who's speaking, and you please watch out for the wind tool. And with that, you see the interaction of another creature, a creature who have lived as a man before, and who have lived as the son of Tina Turner, as far as you can understand and as far as you can see it. But let's repeat the identification process, so we do have it a little bit more clear. So can the creature which is canalizing and triggering the wind, can you agree by using more wind that you are the son of Tina Turner? So he's presenting the golden star to the camera and he's using a higher wind level. So with that, the creature do agree that he have lived in the body of the son of Tina Turner, who did practice suicide, and he is the son. This creature have lived as the son of Tina Turner and is the son of Tina Turner. So that was correct. If that was correct, please present us the golden star one more time. And you see he's turning that tool and he's presenting you the golden star, and he's canalizing more wind to this area. So he's triggering the wind, canalizing the wind into this window, and then the wind tool, of course, interacts with the wind and starts to fly. So with that, the creator did a self-identification process. I just did ask the questions, and the creator, by using the wind, identified himself as the son of Tina Turner. Okay, so for your better understanding, that creatures which have lived as human beings before, which have lost their own human body, that they can come into the situation with some support, and this huge symbiosis we call the biosystem. They can come into the situation to use the weather to present themselves to living humans and to communicate with living humans. But of course, a lot of living humans never had the information, and a lot of people do not know that, and of course a lot of people are not trained to outread that kind of communication, so they are unable to see situations when creatures which have lived as human beings before, which have lost their own human body, do try to reach them and do try to communicate with them. Which leads me to the next question, for the son of Tina Turner. Have you ever tried to reach her where she was unable to see that and to realize that by using that method, by using wind, he turned the star in a way that he's presenting it directly into my eye now and now to the camera. And with that, he's saying, yes, if that's correct, if I understood you correct, can you please use a higher wind level? So can you trigger the wind a little bit, that the wind tool will starts to fly a little bit more? And I understood him correct. That's what I see. He's using more wind, and he's gonna trigger that a little bit more, so then it's easier to see for you, the people which are watching the video. And of course, if the wind is canalized to the wind tool, then you have this flying effect, and you have more shaking, more movement in general. Okay. So to Tina Turner, I was watching a documentation about you in the television here in Germany, and that was the moment when your son did contact me by sending me a signal to the sun. Is that correct? Can you remember that? And you hear a signal, alarm, and your son gonna trigger the wind and gonna canalize the wind. And you can see more movement if you watch the wind tool closely. So it's important to get used to the communication system and to watch maybe a few videos to understand how specific your son can use the wind today, and to learn to outread his communication. Okay, and to understand, to be able to catch his communication, you have to watch out for the wind tool. And here's a little plant, but you can't see it very often, I think, in the video in the end, because I'm sitting in front of it and I'm in a very small room at the moment. So you did contact me, and Tina's mother, the creature who have lived as the mother of Tina Turner, is also correct? If that's correct, can you present me the golden star? And he's presenting me the golden star, and he's turning it into this camera here. Perfect. So we have a yes, and he did shake the tool a little bit. Can you shake it one more time? So can you trigger the wind to a higher wind level, or shake it a bit, that you can agree? So for Tina Turner to understand that. So I was watching the documentation, and first your son did contact me, and afterwards the creature did contact me, which have identified herself as your mom, so as the creature who have lived in the body of your mother. And to this creature, did I understood everything correct, and did I explain everything correct, and did I share it very well with Tina Turner? So the star is pointing into my direction, but that did happen before as well. That's why I request to trigger the wind now also, so then we have a double approval, which is which is always important, I think, to have it more clear. So to the creator, I understood everything right. You are the sun, or the sun will react now, and you can agree that the mother of Tina Turner is also existing even without her human body as a creature, and she's able to communicate. Is that correct? If that's correct, please trigger the wind now. So please start to use a higher wind level now, and afterwards I'm gonna switch my communication and I'm gonna try to communicate with your mom, Tina. But now you see the wind tool is moving more, so the wind is triggered. The creature who have lived as your son did canalize the wind, and with that he did agree to the fact that your mom is also existing and she's able to communicate. Okay? So it's getting a little bit complex. That's why you have to watch out for the wind tool always to understand. And there is another important information. Normally I have to optimize my I have to do a little training with these creatures, with each individual. I haven't done that today for several reasons. One of the reasons is that I do not like to sit so close in front of the window during the whole day because it's getting cold now in Germany. The winter is coming. To the creator I'm communicating with now, I'm gonna try to switch now. Can I speak to the mom of Tina Turner? Yes. So you could see a wind wave was sent, and the star was turned a little bit directly into my eye. Okay. So she's triggering the wind now, and now I'm gonna do a little training with her. I'm gonna try to optimize my communication with her a little bit. So can you trigger the wind one more time clearly if you are the creator who have lived as the mother of Tina Turner? So she's presenting the star, and she's gonna canalize more wind now. So she's gonna let the wind tool fly a little bit so that Tina Turner is getting a clear live signal. So I'm gonna give her the moment to make that very clear and very strong. So the star, you have seen that, and now she's gonna send the wind wave to let the wind tool fly a little bit. And with that, Tina, you receiving a live signal from your mom, so from the creature which have lived in the human body of your mother. So, and you can see she's producing a lot of wind. She's sending a lot of wind to make that point clear that she is existing today and that she's able to communicate, even if me and her, we have not optimized us very well in the communication at that moment in time. And she's agreeing to that. That's why she turned the star a little bit. At this moment, when I looked up there into my eye, that's for your better understanding. Can you turn the star one more time? Can you try that? And for Tina Turner, your mom have to learn that now. She have to train that because before your son was producing the wind and canalizing that. So you can see she's fighting a little bit with the wind tool, and to be able to turn it more specific. Can you try to turn the star into my direction? And she's doing that. Okay. So you could see she was fighting a little bit with the wind tool. And if you couldn't see that, you can watch the video twice or three times because I'm trying to make transparent to you very specific points. So it can be interesting to watch the video again, so 2 or 3 times, because I'm not fast enough to make everything transparent because the communication is complex. I'm communicating with your mom at the moment in a way that I get information from her through my human body, by feelings, by signals, by little pressure points. And I'm watching out for the natural environment, and I'm focused on the wind tool, and I'm focused on the cameras, on the microphone, and everything. So it's a little bit complex. So to your mother, so to the creature which have lived as the mother of Tina Turner. And when we had contact the last time, we just had a very short contact moment. Is that correct? Do I remember that correct? Because I have a very, very bad memory also caused by body sharing. Do I remember that correct? If I do remember that correct, can you please show me the star? And she did turn it specific, so now you can see the star. And can you trigger the wind one time to make that clear, and then we can train a little bit to optimize us. And she's triggering the wind. She did a nice turn there, nice loops. Um, do you miss the do you miss the possibility to communicate with Tina at the moment? Like, do you miss situations where it would be easy for her to understand you? She's presenting me the star. If you want to make that point clear, then you can use more wind, and I'm going to give you the second to react to that. And for Tina Turner, if you watch the video, you can see the wind tool now moving a little bit. And that's because wind is canalized to the area. And of course, the wind is coming from outside. So your mom always have to train and have to optimize a little bit because we did not train that before. Um, she's agreeing to that, so she turns a star again. Um, do you think Tina Turner would be able to understand the video in case she comes into this situation to watch it? So, yes, but you also dropped the information into my human body that you think she won't believe it. Is that correct? And the creature is producing a lot of wind for that. So the creature which have lived by her own identification in the human body of the mother of Tina Turner. And she's producing a lot of wind to agree to that because I received the information by input into my human body that she thinks Tina can't believe that. Um, I think a lot of people, if they come in contact with that kind of universal communication, are unable to believe it. And would you agree by triggering the wind to a stronger wind level that because of that it would be important to try to create a situation where she's checking that possibility in a live situation with some support? Yes. So you would invite her for that? You would say she should try that and risk that? Yes. Yes, and the creature is triggering more wind for that. There's a reason why I did ask it in that way. Because it can be risky to practice universal communication. It can lead to problems, to conflicts with creatures, which them can be very strong because they're able to use weather and they're able to influence the natural environment on such a high level and on such a huge scale. So to Tina Turner, of course, if you see the video and if you can't believe it, you can contact me and then we can chat a little bit. We can see if you're interested in that, if we will meet up. And then I will be able to try to reach this creature. So your mom, how she identified herself by using the wind and by using the wind tool. And then we could try to communicate with her, and then you could see it with your own eyes, and you would feel the wind on the skin and all the little stuff you won't get very well in the video because a video is just a film and just a sound. Of course, if you're in a live situation, you feel the wind and you hear more. I don't know if the cameras are capturing that, but your mom is using a lot of wind in the background at that moment in time. So all the leaves and the trees did start to shake and did start to produce music like a little natural orchestra as well. To the creature I'm communicating with, so to the creature which identified herself as the mother of Tina Turner, you can agree to that. You did produce the wind which did produce the sound before in the tree, yes. So that's how huge the scale can be. They can use to present themselves to communicate if they influence the natural environment. So your mom with that, if the identification is correct, she did produce sound by using the trees in front of this window here. Okay, that's for your better understanding. And of course, because they do not have a human body anymore, and because sometimes it's difficult to identify creatures very well and correct, which have lived as human beings before, which have lost their own human body, if you want to try that, you can also bring a lot of questions, also questions which would help yourself to identify these creatures better. So you can do something like security checks by asking questions. towards these creatures, and then this creature, which is identifying herself as your mom, would have the chance to answer the questions, and with that, to identify herself even more clear towards you. To the creature which have lived as the mom of Tina Turner, would you be willing to answer such questions if she would bring such questions? And do you think that's a good idea? If both is correct, please produce more wind, and that's what she's doing now. And you can see the wind tool did directly start to shake because she did produce more wind. And of course, I can see the star. So can you repeat that so that you're going to trigger more wind? Can you trigger more wind one more time to agree to the fact that you think it would be a good idea? And she's doing that. And if you watch the wind tool, after I said it, she did push wind into the window. And now the wind is pushing the wind tool a little bit into the space over here, into this room. So Tina Turner, you are invited. If you want to try that, you can contact me, and then we can chat before we meet, and you would be able to try that by yourself, and to make up your mind by yourself. And before I would inform you about the risks and a few things, and then it depends on you. So that's all I can do here at that moment in time. And you, the creator who have lived as the mother of Tina Turner, for you and your son, it's okay. For you and her son, sorry, it's okay if I upload the video because you want to reach her like that. Is that correct? So I need an approval. I need a yes. Do you want me to upload the video to the internet so that Tina Turner can find it? Yes. So she did present a golden star into the camera to say yes. And can you trigger the wind one more time if both of you agree? So you and Tina's son, so then she have the chance to find it in the internet if she's doing the research, and then she's going to be able to see the video. And she's producing more wind. If you watch at the wind tool, if you look at the wind tool down here, this area is especially good to realize if more wind is used, because it's moving the easiest way. So she did trigger the wind, and you could see more movement to agree to that. So she, the creator who have lived as the mother of Tina Turner, and the creator who have lived as the son of Tina Turner, both do agree that it's okay that the video gonna be uploaded so that Tina and others can see it, can find it, and then close friends and Tina Turner can try to catch me for an appointment, to contact me if they want to try to communicate with them directly. If they would like to get my support there, or they can try any other option. So would you be happy if Tina is trying that? Would you be happy if Tina Turner would try to communicate with you, or would try that in a live situation? And I think they want to say yes, so we give them the option. If you want to say yes, please turn the golden star into the camera, so please move it more into that direction, and the golden star is coming. So with that, they said yes. And to Tina Turner, if you see the video, during such movements, you can see how specific the communication can work, because you could see a clear reaction, a specific reaction, and a direct reaction on point. Because exactly that did happen, what was requested. That's important to understand. And of course, if I would help you there, we could meet, and it would make sense to bring a few hours, 1 to 3 hours, because then we could optimize ourselves a little bit in the communication with each other, and then with the creatures, so your son and the creature who have lived as your mother, both of them. And then they could use the wind again, and we could use some tools or plants in the area wherever we are, and then they could use all that as a tool to reach you, to communicate with you, and you would be able to learn to outread that communication and to ask questions, and they would be able to answer the questions and to communicate with you. Um, your son and your mom, both of these creatures are intelligent enough to communicate, and they have a consciousness level which do allow them to communicate. Is both correct? If both is correct, that was like a little specific stuff in that. If both is correct, please trigger the wind level to a higher wind level. The golden star is presented now specific, and please trigger the wind level to a higher wind level, and that's what's happening right now. You could see there was a little bit more movement, but can you do that a little bit stronger? And now you can see more wind is used, and the wind tool do start to move a little bit more. That's for your better understanding. So this was a video with the son of Tina Turner, who lost his human body, who have lived as a man, logical, and with the creature who have lived as the mother of Tina Turner, and that video is for Tina Turner, little video where you get invited if you want to try to reach them, and if you need some help there, I would help you, and you could contact me for that. And for all the people which see that video, what you have seen is universal communication. So a situation was documented where creatures which have lived as human beings before, which have lost their own human body, did use weather control to communicate with me, Niall Sebastian Powersieger, and with you, the people which are watching. And the way these creatures did communicate with you is they did use the wind, they did use the whole area, and they did canalize the wind to this wind tool over here, to the plant over here, and to the huge tree in the background. And with that, they did interact specific and on point to present themselves and to communicate to us. Thank you very much to the son of Tina Turner and to the mother of Tina Turner, to both creatures. And I'm gonna upload the video, and then we have to wait for her reaction. And I'm sure if it would be easy for you to speak out complex stuff, you would send her a lot more information. That's correct, right? If that's correct, to the mother of Tina Turner, if that's correct, please trigger the wind for that very strong. So if you would be able to communicate with her a lot of stuff in a short moment, then you would do that, right? You would be able to give her a lot of new interesting information, so she would see that. She's presenting me the golden star, and she wants to say yes, so she's gonna use more wind now. She's gonna use a higher wind level to agree to that. That's what she's doing now. And I'm gonna give her another moment, her and her son together, to produce a lot more wind in this area over here. And with that, they can say goodbye to they can say goodbye, or at least talk to you later, to Tina Turner and to their friends. And I'm gonna get out of the picture. Thank you very much for watching. You're Niall Sebastian Powersieger, and the wind now is canalized and was canalized by the son of Tina Turner, the creator, and the creator who have lived as the mother of Tina Turner. Thanks for watching. You're Niall. And they're gonna canalize the wind for Tina and friends.